Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Darrell here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to review the episode 10 of The Walking Dead Season 10.
Stalker. Yeah, sorry for the late review, guys. You know, daily live. Josh had some work stuff going on. It's happened with me before, too. So we did let you guys know, so we appreciate you checking out our review. We definitely want to talk about it because there was a lot of stuff in here, and we'll get to the tunnels a little bit later. Let's get into probably the meat of it is the Daryl Alpha fight. One of the major things that I picked up immediately was the tactic of how Alpha fights. So when we see Beta fighting Daryl, it's one-on-one, it's brute force, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to fight you. Alpha uses her guardians to close in while she can get little knife wounds in there, like just basically taking him out almost like a predator, like wanting to bleed you out.
And I think that's her just acknowledging, look, I cannot physically take this guy on one-on-one.
Oh no. But she uses
I'm going to have to use my smarts and what I have with me to obviously get the upper hand. And man, did she. I mean, let's just say this.
I mean, she got sliced in the face.
That fight was brutal.
That fight was brutal.
From both ends. And I loved it because we'll just skip right to the gas station part, right?
Yeah.
The gas station part, you had Alpha bleeding out. You had Daryl brutally bleeding out. I mean,
not until he pulled the knife out. And I knew, like, once I was like, I knew when he was getting attacked, I was like, dude, you pull that knife out, you're going to be bleeding.
Yeah, and I think he knew that too. That's why he kept it.
He kept it for so long.
It's Daryl.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just both of them sitting there, essentially dying, is what was happening. Especially Daryl, man.
And I mentioned this to him before, and because of what we do for YouTube, we're big Walking Dead fans. We do trailer reactions. We break down everything. And of course, AMC is not going to not have one of their biggest characters in a trailer. But imagine if they wouldn't have shown Daryl in a trailer for next episode. Or, like, you know, seeing him fighting at the hilltop of scenes to come. We would have been watching this like, they're about to kill Daryl. He's going to bleed out.
Yeah, but
you know, it kind of took the suspense away. I mean, I was still freaking out. I was like, oh my God, that's a lot of blood. But I knew that, okay, we're going to be jumping into the attack at Hilltop like within a day or two. It's going to be immediate. So he's fine.
Yeah, and I think the reason why they did that this time was because we literally had a couple seasons ago, where Dwight shot him in the shoulder, and they cut that episode, and blood sprayed onto the TV screen, and we left that episode like, oh shit, Daryl's dead. There's no way that Dwight just clipped him in the shoulder. It looked like he shot him in the head.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't do that with Norman Reedus. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was freaking out wondering what's going to happen to Daryl, but I knew that, okay, next episode he's fighting at Hilltop. So
I'm sitting there watching him basically. I mean, you could hear it in the breaths that he was taking.
Guys, the performances of Norman Reedus, Samantha Morton,
it was
Cassidy McClincy, Seth Gillian, who plays Father Gabriel, we'll get into that. Amazing performances. I thought it was amazing. And the breathing
that he was doing. I mean, I honestly, knowing that they're not going to kill Daryl, but I'm sitting there thinking, like, how is he going to make it out of this? Even with what happened, how did he make it out of that? Because the dude was dying.
I heard after the fact that actually Norman Reedus and Samantha Morton had previous injuries, so they were limited a little bit in their fighting. So I'm sure they had their stunt doubles do a lot of stuff too. Sure. But, you know, it's interesting of what you don't know, how much people do get hurt in making the show when they do some of their own stunts. And so to hear that they were both injured, but still doing the scenes that they needed to do, I thought was great.
Now let's talk about what else happened in that gas station, and that is Lydia coming to the rescue of Daryl. Now we don't immediately find out that she's going to help Daryl, because she comes up to greet her mother, who is just hallucinating because she's probably lost a lot of blood.
She's basically on the doorstep. When you kind of hear what she was telling Daryl, like, do you see into the darkness? Do you see into the light? That's kind of starting to, she's basically talking about death. You know, do you see into the light? You know,
she's losing it.
She's losing it. And I thought it was great. I mean, that's a character that they have not shown, and we've been like, where's Lydia? And then boom, here she is.
Well, what was great about this scene is here she is dying in front of her daughter, and she's telling Lydia, they're waiting for you, as in the Whisperers.
We got what Alpha's purpose is for Lydia.
Yeah, she wants Lydia to take over when she's gone. She wants her to be the next Alpha. And here she is telling her they're waiting for you. Take your place.
Holding the knife to her stomach, begging Lydia to just end it.
Yeah,
and do it.
What was crazy about that scene is Lydia's crying. Lydia's with her mother. And honestly, guys, I
almost thought she was going to do it.
I thought she was going to do it. I visioned in my head a bald Lydia taking over as Alpha.
I didn't think that far. I didn't think she...
I honestly did.
But they could have.
That's how good the scene was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're sitting there thinking, like, she's really going to do it. She's really going to turn on everyone. Because think about it. Up to that point, Lydia's been treated like shit by almost everyone.
Except...
certain people,
but
even Daryl, right?
But what happened recently was she was betrayed by one of Daryl's closest.
So she had every reason to follow her mother, and I honestly thought it was going to happen.
Yeah, but it was great because she kind of says, "I'm not here for them. I'm not here for you," and I love it because at the end of the episode where Daryl wakes up and Lydia's there. His first thought was, did you kill her? Because Daryl knew, hey, she's bleeding out too. Did you do it? And I love how Lydia was like,
I love this.
If it was your father, could you do it? Because Daryl has had a bad family upbringing. He was beaten by his dad. And I love that because you see the look on Daryl's face like, yeah, I get it. Like, even though I hated my dad, could I really have killed him in that moment if he asked me?
Yeah.
I love that. And that's what I love about those two characters because...
they're similar.
They're similar, and we know what happened to Lydia in the comic books was far worse than what we see on the show.
Daryl, even in the past seasons, has been an outcast like Lydia.
Yeah.
He's banished himself away from the group.
They understand.
He's wanted to be a loner, so he knows what Lydia's going through, and I loved that scene.
I love it
because she knew exactly where to go with him, and it just shows that these two are close.
Yeah, it's great. So I can't wait to see what happens next episode. So let's get to the actual
let's get to Alexandria.
Stalker stuff.
Yeah.
So now I couldn't believe the tunnel. I mean, they have literally dug a tunnel. Now
I didn't believe you.
We know
I did not believe
you. We know
you.
Dante did a piece of it, but then it's like, okay, well, nobody's looking at a grave. We don't know the extent of how much he dug, but at the end, we heard that, after the whole battle, Father Gabriel was talking with Kyle, and he was like, Kyle said, some of the Whisperers have already blocked off sections. So you have to think, Beta left in the middle of the day or early morning. He got there at night. Took him that long, dude.
Did it take him that long, or did he maybe take a break? We don't know, right?
We don't know.
We did because they didn't really give us a vantage point of where the RV Dale's RV was.
Right. Dale's RV
compared to the grave, right? But it just shows this group. You got to think they probably immediately started digging that tunnel after they found out Alexandria existed.
They probably did. And that's the thing.
Immediately, not before their conflict, not before they crossed their borders,
right?
Not before the spike incident.
And then once they got Dante involved, Dante was like, all right, she somehow told him to dig a grave or tunnel, tell him we're coming in from this area, kill somebody and dig a tunnel. I don't know how she did it, but amazing.
I think that I loved the Gamma scenes too. So to back up a little bit before we get more into Beta and what happened with Alexandria is here's Gamma. They didn't trust her, and rightfully so. Like she's telling them that their survivors are trapped in the cave, and she gets decked by Rosita. Very tough for Rosita to trust, obviously, a Whisperer when Dante just killed her her baby's dad.
And we learned that was just 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
2 days.
That's crazy.
I mean, we know things are happening quickly, but it's 2 days.
Rightfully so for Rosita to be, and another thing so they take Gamma to the cell. We were right. We were absolutely right on what was going to happen in that cell. Like immediately Rosita's like, that's from a previous Whisper right there. And you see Dante's death stain
But Father Gabriel, though, I mean, Seth Gillian, when they were talking with her, I mean, he went straight. He was seeing like Morgan clear. He was like, if you find a whisperer, start pulling teeth, start cutting off fingernails. Like, you see the look of everybody, like, holy shit, this dude's going off the rails.
Well, and he sees it in Gamma. He sees that Gamma has this change of mind, right? Yeah. And she's acting to be a whisperer, well, in his eyes. But then when they see what life can be, they take off that mask, you know, in a figurative form, not just literally.
Yeah, I loved it. And you know, like he said, he's a father. He's a servant of God. You know, he can tell when somebody is lying or holding things back. And I loved him when he was like, I spoke to God and he said I should hang you. Straight up, dude. And even Rosita, she was like, well, what if I can't remember or give all the details? She'd be like, then we'll kill you.
Yeah, I mean,
straight up, like, no bullshit. That's just what's gonna go down.
Yeah,
it was ruthless. But I did love and I love Kaylee Fleming, you know, little Judith. She's very curious. You know, she sees good in people. And I love that we got a little more backstory from Gamma, Mary. We learned her name before when she was talking with Aaron. We learned that she's from Santa Monica. But I loved hearing the part that what Alpha does to mess with your mind is to make you forget. So Gamma only remembers up to about high school. And then she's done, and she can't remember much after that because of what Alpha has done to mess with her mind, where she only has little pieces, but she can't have a full scope of it.
Did you love the line? So Gamma says to Judith, you know, when things went down, my sister and I just did some bad things, and we were looking for guidance, and we found the wrong person to help us. And Judith turns to her and says, if you found my mom and dad, you wouldn't be in this situation.
Yep, you found the wrong. You met the wrong person.
You found the wrong person.
Love it. I love it.
Loved that line, man.
It was true. Great. It's true. I love it, man. I mean, you know, Judith was so young to remember. You know, I mean, she was decently young. She remembers Rick, but not as well as she would want to.
But leave it to Judith to really hit a point home to someone in need, really, honestly, in need of having to hear that, right? Yeah. That was more for Gamma than it was for Judith to hear that.
Yeah, so. It was great. But I mean, Beta, guys, I mean, when he came through that grave, the music in there was awesome, and I was like, oh god, this dude is just gonna start killing people, which he did.
Well, there was a line of forget Michael Myers, we need Beta.
Exactly. But I love those two guys. I think they were the last, I don't know if they were the last highwaymen left, but they were the two guys that, one of the guys mentioned that they beat up Lydia, and they were like, yeah, man, face one-on-one, dude, the Whisperers aren't shit, and Beta's right behind them. I was like, oh, fuck. And then he just goes in and kills a group of people. And then I was like, immediately when I saw him kneeling, I was like, yep, he's going to wait for them to turn.
I love how he waited.
He was just
almost like, you know, these are my prizes.
My guardians
these
are coming.
My guardians. Like, I loved that. But
creeping around, dude, I mean, it was just so creepy. And
he went to multiple homes.
Yeah.
And he wiped out a lot of Alexandrians because as Rosita and Father Gabriel discover what's going on, there's just a ton of them in the street.
Yeah. And, you know, the Rosita Beta fight was awesome, but we also did get a casualty. Lindsay Register, who played Laura, did die as Beta was going into the cell and trying to coax Gamma to come out. She comes in to tell Gamma to go get help, but I was like, girl, you either just kill Beta immediately, you're not going to fight. She put up a good fight, but she did get slammed, and it was confirmed that she did die. Even though they didn't have her on Talking Dead or they didn't do much for her, but that's all right.
That kind of sucks.
But, I mean, congratulations, you know, great run. We enjoyed the character a lot.
Yeah, so. she did play a small role in The Walking Dead, but
after
still,
all that war,
it was enough to
people know who she is.
Exactly, and maybe it was the neck tattoo that probably did it, but she was also a very attractive woman, so. You know, that a lot of people know her, and I liked her. You liked her. And I just thought that there could have been a lot more for that actress portraying that character.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was awesome because, like, you know, when Judith shot Beta through the door, I was like, oh, what? That's how Beta goes out? And then he has a bulletproof whatever vest on. I was like, oh, okay.
Interesting. Whispers believe in bulletproof vests.
I guess so. Or he knows they had weapons, so he came,
Probably.
He came prepared.
I mean, that's absolutely right.
He came prepared.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Gamma basically holding a knife to her throat because Beta was about to kill Rosita. And she's like, look, Alpha wants me alive, so take me. Which he does, but they get her back.
So in other words, she saved Rosita's life.
She did. Yep. And I love the point where basically Father Gabriel was pointing the shotgun at her. He thought about killing her.
Let's look at it like
thought
this.
about killing her.
So they just went through a whole ordeal where she's telling Father Gabriel, I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying to you. She did lie once, but then told the truth.
Now she's outside with Beta.
Alexandria has been infiltrated.
Yep.
Father Gabriel knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's Gamma just walking with Beta.
Yeah.
Like, as Father Gabriel, I honestly thought he was going to blow her away.
Yeah, I understood exactly what he was feeling. He probably felt this whole thing was a setup. And for him to withhold that, that took a lot.
Yeah, dude.
Because he could have just killed her.
Good on him.
Yeah, he could have killed her. So, but, I mean, guys, you know, Stalker was an amazing episode. I just... It was interesting, though, when Beta was walking through the homes, how, like, nothing was creaking. It was all wood floors. And that dude weighs probably like 300 pounds. He's like 6'6" or some shit.
But he knows how to walk, right? I mean, this is someone that walks among, you know.
But he's on the ground, not wood floors.
Hey.
No, but anyway. But I thought it was great, though. Cannot wait.
It was great to see the moment where, you know, Rosita finally opens up to Gamma as they were traveling to the hilltop. So, yeah, guys, I love that episode.
Aaron coming back.
Yeah.
You know, wondering where everybody is. And he's like, not all of them made it out. And that's when they, you know, just talked about the grave and everything. So, guys, stay tuned for our predictions. Our predictions are going to be posting tomorrow. You guys are watching this on Wednesday. They are going to post on Thursday. We have some awesome stuff for the predictions for episode 11, guys. The war is beginning.
Absolutely, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're always notified when we upload new content. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Josh.
I'm Darrell.
We're NocBro Nation. We're out.